We're learning more information now about a tragedy in Lakewood we first told you about yesterday. An 87-year-old man with Alzheimer's killing his roommate at an assisted living facility. After the story aired, we heard from many of you about how your loved ones turned violent while fighting the disease. 7 News reporter Jennifer Kovaleski talking with mental health experts today. And Jen, you found this is not uncommon.
Eric, a doctor at University Hospital, says violence is more common in the late stages of the disease. According to court records, the 87-year-old accused of killing his roommate was in the 6th and final stage. I spoke to a woman who lost her husband to Alzheimer's and experienced violence firsthand.
He was a wonderful man. He was a Marine in World War II.
Jean Merle's husband, Bob, was first diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2007.
I started crying September the 7th, 2007, when the psychiatrist diagnosed him, and I don't think I'm gonna quit.
For the next 5 years, caring for him was not only difficult, it was emotionally and physically draining.
It took a village, it took 5 of us to watch him every day.
As the disease progressed, Merle says Bob became paranoid, often turning to violence.
Absolutely violent. And then he'd say, I went upstairs to try to see him. He says, I'm gonna knock you down those stairs if you come any closer.
Dr. Jonathan Woodcock heads clinical trials for Alzheimer's patients at University Hospital. How common is it for these types of patients to turn violent?
Violence happens sometimes later in the course of the disease, particularly if there's accompanying paranoia.
He says it's a part of the disease people don't like to talk about.
We don't like to blame people who have these kinds of problems. And so the approach needs to be one of a realistic acceptance.
When a person with Alzheimer's turns violent, Dr. Woodcock says often the best thing to do is to leave the patient alone.
Confronting the patient, particularly with reality, doesn't often work very well.
Something Merle says she learned all too well.
And you had to go to their world. And if you try to even make any logic out of this disease, there's none.
Dr. Woodcock says Alzheimer's patients committing homicide is still very rare. The 87-year-old man accused of killing his roommate is being evaluated at a state mental health facility. It will be up to the DA to decide if he will face murder charges. Reporting live in the newsroom, Jennifer Kovaleski, 7 News.